Hello, this is Doug Baty, and I am sharing with you what I'm looking for in MLA 8 papers. All papers submitted through Red Zone in my classes, which are humanities classes or philosophy classes. I teach ethics, New Testament survey, comparative world religions. They all need to be submitted in this format. So I want to show you what I'm expecting and how it's done correctly. At first glance, this particular paper is done correctly. This is called the heading. This is the page number and your last name. It's in the header. This is the title of your paper. You'll have some sort of title. And then everything's done. It's indented here and here between after paragraphs. And everything is in a 12-point font. I'd prefer to use Times New Roman. So this is a correctly done paper. But I'm going to show you how to correct ones that are not correctly done. This paper has several issues. It has 5. Maybe you can guess at what they are. But what we're going to do is just look at the page number issue on the next slide, and I'll deal with the others in a bit. On this slide, the page number is incorrect because it has more than just the number 1, and it doesn't have the last name. It has page, doesn't need that word. This line is extra. It should not be there. It's in the header. That's correct. It should be in the header. Nothing else should be in the header, just the page number. But let me show you how to correct this. Okay, first thing here, and it's not on this slide, you'll have to hit Insert tab on the top of your Word document. And when you get to the Insert tab, this pops up. This is what is showing after the Insert tab. I actually took a picture of it. And you are using the Page Number Insert tool. That's what it's called. And you need to use this. And when you click on this tab right here, some options will show. And here are the options. It has several different ideas of where maybe the page number should go or could go. Is it on the left? Is it in the center? Is it on the right? It needs to be on the right. Or it could add the page number, and there are other options. But we don't want any others other than this one right here. It's the correct option that inserts your page number on the right side of your header. When done properly, it will look like this, but you have to do something extra to get your last name here. My last name is not Schmidt. This is my great-grandparents' name. But once the number 1 shows up on your insert tool, then you have to use the arrow key and move in front of the 1 and then type your last name and then press enter and you're done. Type your last name there so that it will show up properly. Do not say last name. I've had students do that in the past where it shows up their last name is last name. It looks silly. Of course, I count off 20%. I will count off 20%, and if you do any of these things incorrectly, I will give you a chance to correct them. The first 2 papers, and that's it. And if you refuse to correct them or correct them and then go back to the same stupid mistakes, I will take 20% off your grade. That means the best you can make is a B. And if I find one little thing wrong, you will get less than that. So I would suggest to follow this guideline to the T. Once you get it, it's easy to do. It will show up correctly all the time. So just use it as a template. Keep using the same kind of blank page that you make or create for this, or say template page, and then keep using that. There are 3 other problems with this paper at this point, and they are, let me point them out. The spacing. There's extra space here, there's extra space here and here. Other things are wrong. This is underlined. There are no underlines in any of my papers. There is no need for anything to be bold anywhere. If they are, it's incorrect. There shouldn't be anything in parentheses unless it's a major research paper, and then that inside the parentheses should be just a name of the last name of an author. But at any rate, this is basically right, but I put the parentheses here so that you'd know that's put the name of your class. Other classes do the same thing. I know the English department uses MLA 8, which is the Modern Language Association 8th edition of that for formatting. And that's what we're doing, and I'm showing you how to correct it. The first thing you must do to correct a paper, and this one just looks a little bit different. There's more spacing issues here. This is double space, but this is more than double, and this is odd. This is extra, so on, and this isn't quite right. So we need to do something. In order to get it done properly, you have to highlight everything, or it doesn't apply to it all. So please highlight it all first. This is how to do it. When you go to the top of the page and click Page Layout, you will go to the Paragraph section. That's what this is indicating. It's from that paragraph section, and when you click on it, this box shows up. And so in this box, you have several numbers and different things. This is correct. It should be none here. This should be double, not 1.5. These boxes should be at 0. It shouldn't say none. It shouldn't be empty. It should say 0. 6 point is incorrect. The default, the word program default has an 8, I believe, in one of those boxes. So they're always done incorrectly unless you make the change. So when you're done too, you also want to click on this so it doesn't add any extra space between the paragraphs of the same style. So once you've clicked all these to 0, you will have the correct paper because they're all at 0. You can see that you can put these to 0. Don't leave them blank. That will be wrong. And I don't even have to go here to see if they're blank or 0 or double or whatever they need to be. I can tell by looking at your paper. Immediately, it'll show up in my head within a second of opening your work. So make sure everything is done proper, and you won't get counted off for any stupid points or any points taken off stupidly for doing it incorrectly. This is the easiest part, and once you get it down, you use the same over and over and over for every paper you do in my class. Basically, you're doing summaries. So here's the proper paper I want to see. In the title area, you need to have a title for your paper. It needs to be centered, and then your page number needs to be in the header. A couple other things I'd like to talk about, and that is citations. For all of your papers, when you're summarizing an article for me, or you're summarizing a section of a book, I want you to use proper citations. And this is what it will look like at the end of your work. You can put this works cited message on the next page if you like, or it could be immediately following the body of your work. But this is a proper works cited area. And let me show you how to do this because it requires some extra work. First thing you must do is highlight the area as it is highlighted here. And then you will go back up to the page layout and hit paragraph. And when you do that, it will show up with this picture, and then you need to change, because everything else will be right, you need to change this part to the special for the hanging indent. Hanging indents It's what you need for citations. For all your bibliography, reference material, it's all the same thing for these citations. It's just in your Works Cited page. And when you're done, it's correct. And what I want to do now is show you what is it you're putting in this so that you know you're getting it correct. You're starting with the author. This particular thing doesn't have an author because it came from an area that didn't provide an author, but they do have a title, so the title is there, and then it is italicized, the only thing on this whole Works Cited area that's italicized. Then you have your publisher, which is the writing lab of the OWL at Purdue and Purdue University. A long-winded one. But you know what? This might be the title of a container, and this could be, say, New York Times or Vogue magazine or something like that. But if it would be, then that would not only be the container, it'd probably also be the publisher. So you'd have it listed twice, once for the container and once for the publisher. If there's other pertinent information, you would include it in that area. The author, if you do use it, and if you do have an author, I suggest kindly to look for an author. Make sure his last name or her last name is listed first and then the first name. And then in the end, I want the URL, and it's to be without the HTTPS or HTTPN // It needs to be without that. Some might start with a www, and it may not. But that's all you need in this Works Cited area. And that's how to do it correctly. There are other information I would like to show you and just go over quickly. The last page, or the next page, and every page forthcoming would be the next number, which is done properly here. Just want to point that out. I don't need the date accessed in your work citation. It's unnecessary. I'm not interested. You don't have to go to the work for that. Do your best to find an actual author's name. If the author isn't found, be sure to start with the title of your article, and is what I did in the previous picture. In your papers with more than one source, be sure to call it not works cited, but works cited. All of these things can be equivalent to 20% off of your paper, so you need to do it right. Since you're using more than one reference or one portion of bibliography, it needs to be works, and we're using works cited in these classes. Be sure to use the hanging indent always, and you know, at every paragraph, be sure to have an indentation anyway, just a normal indent, as this is found right here. And just for a little bit of info for your information, don't use Wikipedia. I won't want that. Do not use Huffington Post for anything. Don't use a video or dictionary or encyclopedia for your resources. These are not academic sources, and they're not acceptable in my field of study. So please don't. Their only exception would be for philosophy, that is in the ethics class. You can use the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy and the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and this is where they are found. They can use them because these are well-known and widely accepted sources of philosophical information and for ethics, edited by the peers of philosophers. So those are good. Wikipedia is not, and other encyclopedias are a little iffy. But anyway, that's how to get a paper done in this class. Good luck. If you have any questions, please email me. Thank you.